Hey guys, it's Billy, and I'm back, and I'm bringing you another commentary. And obviously, this is not about the gameplay, but this game isn't too bad. It's Domination on Sanctuary, and I do alright. But today, I watched an interview with Mark Lamia, who is a big shot, guy over at Treyarch, calling all the shots, making this next game happen, Black Ops 2. A nice little interview about him where he talked about the campaign and some things like that in the game. One of the things he talked about, I'm starting with the least important thing right now, is that the Type 95 will be in Black Ops 2. I know a lot of you loved the gun, a lot of you hated the gun. Either way, the gun's back. But some good news for you that hated the gun. Bad news for people who loved the gun is it's been rebalanced. Every single gun in the game has been rebalanced from the ground up, which is a thing that they've said for pretty much every game so far. Oh yeah, we rebalanced all the guns. It'll be fine. And there's always going to be a gun or 3 guns that are better than every other gun in the game. It's just how it happens. Not really much you can do about it. But apparently they're trying their best to make all the guns exactly the same as all the other guns, so no one can bitch and complain about people using try-hard guns and things like that. But it all depends on your playstyle and obviously how good you are. So, I mean, it's never going to be perfect. So try not to complain when this game comes out, because there's not much they can really do about it, especially if it's your fault. If it's user error, you cannot complain about the guns that people are using. So they've rebalanced all the guns, and player customization is back. Hopefully back kind of like how it used to be. How in Black Ops you could customize your player card. You could make an emblem for yourself, which a lot of people did, and most of those people either made dicks or chicks bending over, or a combination of the two. But there were some really good ones. Some people, made things for their favorite sports team. Things like that. So people did use these things constructively, but most people just made dicks. But it should be back anyway. And I hope they bring it back a little bit more in depth. So it's not just, here's some shapes, you can put them down in layers and change the color of them. That's not what I want to see. I want to see like an actual layer-based image creating tool, where you can actually take a pen tool and draw things if you'd like, things like that. I think it would add a nice little aspect to the game that a lot of games are missing. Very, very customizable things. That's what I would really, really like to see in Black Ops 2. But on to the campaign. So he talked extensively about the campaign. Apparently this campaign is going to be action-packed, just badass campaign, bigger, badder, better than ever. And it has an awesome, really three-dimensional, in-depth villain, which a lot of people are like, well, that's not really that important. But if you look at a lot of the great things out there, what makes them so great is when they have a really, really deep character development for their villains. Like, if you look at The Dark Knight, what made that movie so great wasn't necessarily Batman, but the Joker was just such a good character. And speaking of the Joker, the story for this game is being co-written with David S. Goyer, who is essentially the man behind Heath Ledger's Joker. A fantastic screenwriter. He's written a ton of things, and I think that it's going to bring a whole new element to this game that is just going to bring the campaign over the top. And I'm not a huge campaign player. I still haven't beat the Modern Warfare 3 campaign yet. I'm like halfway in. I never ever play the campaign. It took me I beat the Black Ops campaign pretty much right at the end of the life of Black Ops. Because these Call of Duty campaigns to me just really haven't, they don't stand out. I don't see them to be that important. They're really, really monotonous, and it's kind of the same thing over and over again. But I'm really looking forward to the campaign in the next game, especially if it's as cool as they say it's going to be. And the campaign kind of has some of the same elements that Black Ops had, as far as it switches between the 80s and the Cold War into the future, 2025 or whatever, near future time. And so that'll add a nice little what's the word I'm looking for? Juxtaposition? It'll just be a nice little flavor to the game. Switching between, old guns, old time, and future, where there's drones and everything flying around, robots, tanks driving themselves, shooting laser beams at you, whatever they're going to do. People riding horses in the future. and people attacking you with dogs in the past. I think that'll be really, really, really cool, and I'm really looking forward to that. But another huge thing that they added to Black Ops 2 that I think is really going to be groundbreaking as far as for the Call of Duty series, because they've obviously done non-linear stories in a ton of other games, but finally Call of Duty's hopping on the bandwagon, making a non-linear playstyle, and you'll be playing through the campaign. There'll be certain times during the game where you can choose your own mission. They're calling these things strike force missions. And it's a point where you can choose between however many missions that they give you the option to choose. And no matter what you do on these missions, which one you choose, it's going to affect the storyline to come. I'm not sure if you're going to play it as some other character, someone who doesn't matter. So that way you're going through, you get, one life, and if you die, the Strike Force mission is over. And whoever your target was or whatever that was didn't get destroyed, didn't get captured, didn't get rescued, whatever the story is. And that's going to affect the outcome for all the characters in the game later on in the story, including all the good guys and all the villains. I don't know what I almost said there. It almost came out completely wrong. But I think that's going to be really, really awesome. The fact that they're not going to just, if you want a Strike Force mission and you lose, they're not going to say, oh, sorry, you didn't make it, time to try again from the beginning. Is that if you lose, you just lose. Then you continue with your storyline, however, whatever way it was affected. And a lot of these choices that you can make a lot of choices at some points during the campaign too that they're saying aren't exactly going to be, black and white, good versus evil, just split down the middle. A lot of them are going to be small choices that you don't even realize are a choice at the time. Like, you could have the option to go left or go right somewhere, and maybe you don't even realize there's a left. You just go right, and it changes the game entirely. But odds are it'll be a subtle change, maybe something at the end of the mission, whatever. But there are going to be choices. It is going to be non-linear, which I think is going to bring a really, really nice aspect to the campaign, and honestly raise the replay value of it, especially if they bring in, online. If you could play online co-op with 4 friends and go through and play this campaign over and over again and have 10 different endings, I think that would be really spectacular, and I think it would make most of the Call of Duty fans pretty happy, because we haven't gotten the best campaigns. I know people that go through and they play the campaign on, whatever difficulty, and they go back through and play it on veteran, whatever the top difficulty is. Like I said, I don't play the campaign. I don't even know the difficulties on these things. But I have a lot of friends that'll go through and they'll play through it on veteran. Now maybe instead of playing it through it on veteran, they're going to go through it and they're going to make different choices over and over again until they figure out which way is easiest to play through on veteran, just so they can get the gamer score points. Yeah, so that's going to be really cool. I really hope they don't fuck it up and make it really, really terrible. Like, what was that game? You played it was Force Unleashed. How they're like, it's non-linear. You can choose to be good or evil. And the only time you could choose was during the last boss fight. And you're like, all right, I can kill Palpatine or I can kill Darth Vader or whatever your options are. And it's just really, really bad. Like, sweet, there's 2 endings. That's not non-linear. That's completely linear with an option of who you want to kill at the end. Not even remotely creative. And obviously zombies are back, and zombies are supposed to also be bigger and better than ever. 8-player co-op zombies, which I know a lot of you have already heard all the stuff about the zombies, and a lot of you follow it. Another thing I never really played was zombies. But who knows, maybe I'll get into it this game, because I just never really had anybody to play with before, and I'll play with some people now, whatever. 8-person co-op zombies. It's using the multiplayer engine. The actual maps you play on are supposed to be absolutely huge, just way bigger than they were before. Allegedly, there is a zombie story mode, which would be sick. Going through a campaign where you're fighting zombies would be awesome. And you also have the option to switch it back to the classic mode, which I think will be pretty cool if you like zombies, if that's your thing. But that's all I got for today. If you could do me a favor, and during this final kill cam here, leave me a like. I would appreciate that. And as always, feel free to subscribe. I post content daily, and I personally think it's pretty good. I hope you guys have a fantastic day.